Welcome to Council Action. My name is Elizabeth Kautz. I'm the mayor of the city of Burnsville. Council Action is a summary of the council's meeting on Tuesday, December 5th, 2017. The meeting was called to order at 5:30 p.m. at 100 Civic Center Parkway in the council chambers. We begin our meetings with a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And then we move on to our announcements, and we had one recognition to make. Our announcements have to do with all of our upcoming meetings. Council meetings are scheduled for Tuesday, December 19th at 5:30 p.m. and Tuesday, January 2nd at 5:30 p.m. We have work sessions scheduled for Tuesday, December 12th at 5:30 p.m. and Tuesday, January 9th at 5:30 p.m. And then we had a recognition, and this is a Citizen Lifesaver Recognition for water rescue incident. Please tune into the City Council meeting and hear about 3 wonderful community members who helped this citizen when his car went into one of our ponds over by the hospital. And so they were able to help rescue that citizen while our first responders were on the way and the call was going in. So anyway, please tune in and see the recognition of these wonderful community members. And this is what makes Burnsville a great community, is that people care and they are compassionate, and they show that through their love for their fellow man. So thank you, and please tune in. We then move on to citizens' comments, and no one appeared before the City Council to speak to any items, and there were no emergency items to be added to the agenda. And then we move on to the consent agenda. And the first item on the consent agenda is the approval of minutes, and we approved all of those minutes of our past meetings. We also approved claims listing, and we approved the 2017 budget amendments. We also approved the ordinance establishing the 2018 fees and charges. And we approved the certification of the delinquent water and sewer accounts to property taxes. And we also approved a resolution regarding the support of a job creation fund application in connection with UTC Aerospace Systems. We also approved the 3rd-year payment of a 3-year Microsoft Enterprise Agreement. And we approved the renewal of the Enterprise Resource Management System Support and Maintenance Agreement. We also approved fiber optic infrastructure use agreement with Dakota County for Dakota Electric Association. And we approved the purchase of security cameras for Phase 1 facilities construction project, City Hall, and the Police Department. We also approved the 8th Amendment and consent of communication site lease agreement with T-Mobile Central at Buck Hill Water Tower, 15420 Buck Hill Road. We also approved and amended the rental licensing code to exempt state licensed or registered establishment. And we accepted and authorized the 2018 fuel purchases. We also accepted and authorized the 2018 road salt purchases. And we authorized the purchase within the 2018 Vehicle and Equipment Replacement Program. And we also accepted and approved the application for the City of Burnsville to amend the zoning ordinance and business regulations of the City Code to establish standards and allow short-term home rentals as a home business, home occupation. We adopted the ordinance and authorized the summary ordinance publication. Now, this particular item is only for 1 year, and then we will review it to see what worked and what didn't work. And so this is a 1-year adoption of this ordinance. We also adopted and approved the application for Northern State Power Company for a conditional use permit amendment to allow grading, filling, and utility work within the shoreland, wetland, and soil erosion environmental overlay district the floodplain of Black Dog Lake to complete the installation of a natural gas pipeline at 1400 Black Dog Road. We approve the conditional use permit, the amendment, and adopt the findings of fact. We also approved the application for the Hertz Corporation for concept and development stage plan unit development for an open sales rental use in the B3 General Business Zone and one lot commercial subdivision of Hertz Addition, and this is located at 12750 West Frontage Road, the old Perkins site. We approve the plan unit development, the preliminary and final plat, and we adopted the findings of fact and ordinance. We also approved the application of Sovereign Grace Church for a conditional use permit for religious assembly and alternative parking use located at 500 East Travelers Trail. We approve the conditional use permit and adopt the findings of fact. We also approve the professional service agreement with OPG 3 Inc. for Laserfish services and maintenance, and that was the end of the consent agenda. We then move on to the regular agenda, and the first item on the regular agenda was a public hearing, and this is a resolution authorizing the application for a Minnesota Investment Fund program grant in connection with facility upgrades at the UTC Aerospace Systems manufacturing facility located in Burnsville. This item was presented. I opened the public hearing. No one spoke to the item, and I closed the public hearing, and the item was approved. The next item was to consider acceptance of the Comcast proposed late fee increase. This item was presented, and there were no questions, and the item was approved. And then we had an update on the Joint Powers Agreement for Dakota County Broadband. Now, please tune into the City Council meeting and hear the full report on this particular initiative between the cities in Dakota County and Dakota County for broadband. And so this was just an update. There was no action that was needed. Tune in and hear the full report by our IT director, Mr. Venables. And then I recessed the Burnsville City Council meeting and then, until 6:30, and then reconvened the Burnsville City Council meeting, and we went into item number 8. And this was the resolution to adopt the 2018 budget and establish the 2018 property tax levy and adoption of the 2018-2022 capital improvement plan. So this item was presented. We have been working on all of this since June, but we're always working on budgets throughout the year. This item was presented and approved. And then I recessed the Burnsville City Council meeting so the Economic Development Authority meeting can convene. And so the Economic Development Authority meeting was called to order, and there were no additions to the final agenda. And on the consent agenda, we approved the minutes of the past meetings, and we also approved the resolution approving a first amendment to the contract for purchase and development contract between Burnsville Economic Development Authority and GH Minnesota Properties, LLC. That was approved. And then on the regular agenda, this was the resolution to adopt the 2018 Economic Development Authority Levy and Budget. That item was presented and approved, and there were no miscellaneous items, and the meeting was adjourned. I then reconvened the Burnsville City Council meeting, and we went on to item 10. Item 10 is the resolution to adopt the Burnsville Economic Development Authority 2018 property tax levy. This is a ratification of that action. That item was presented and approved, and there were no miscellaneous items, and the meeting was then adjourned. Council action replays at 6 a.m. and noon, 6 p.m. and midnight. And City Council meetings replay at various times on Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And I encourage you to watch the following to see how you can view past meetings and current meetings via the internet at www.burnsville.org. I'm Elizabeth Kautz, Mayor of the City of Burnsville. Thank you for joining me. Continue to make a difference.